Hello crochet friends, welcome to Crazy Cool Crochet. This is Sylvia and today I am bringing you the Crochet Classic Cable Sweater, and this is featuring the easiest cable stitch ever. And we're going to have a mock turtleneck ribbed at the top, a ribbing at the bottom, and ribbing at the wrists of the sleeves. So classically gorgeous. And before we get started, let me remind you, you have to look in the white space below, open that up so that you can get to the links to crazycoolcrochet.com. Over there you will find the written pattern. You will find instructions for larger sizes. The tutorial will be for a size small. And of course there will also be a link to my Etsy shop where you can get the printable pattern. And that is crazycoolcrochetus.etsy.com. So we are using a number 4 yarn, and you can, however, use any number 4 yarn that you prefer. We'll need a yarn needle, the crochet hook. I'm using a G or a 4.25 millimeter. I have heard from several of you that you cannot find a 4.25. That's okay. You can move down a size or up a size, whatever is easier for you, whatever works best for whatever yarn you're using, and we'll need some scissors. So we are first going to work the front panel and the back panel. This is the front, and we're going to start with the ribbing on the bottom and then do a little increase on each side and grow the panel up. Then we'll do a little bit of a neck shaping. Now, because this is not a beginner tutorial, this is not a beginner's pattern, I am going to skip over the very basics. So for size small, we're going to chain 60, and then do a double crochet in the third chain from the hook. Double crochet, and then a double crochet in each chain across, and you will end up with 58 double crochets. So we're working on the ribbing here. So at the end of that first row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. So for the ribbing, we're going to do the front post, back post stitches. Okay, so for that I will detail in case you've not done that before. So yarn over as if for a double crochet. Now you're going to go behind that first post. So not the turning chain, but the first double crochet post. So insert the hook from the front, around the back of the post, back to the front. Then grab the yarn, pull it up, and complete the double crochet. That is a front post double crochet. Now we're going to do a back post. So for that, we're going to turn the work a little bit toward you because we're working in the back. So yarn over, we're working into the very next post. Come through the front, cross over the post to the back, grab the yarn, pull this toward you because we're working in the back. So pull through the opening and then complete the double crochet. That's the back post. Got one on the front and one in the back. And then we alternate. So then front post along the next post, and then back post around the next one. So again, yarn over, go around the back to the front, cross over the post to the back, grab the yarn, pull it toward you, bring it through the opening, complete your double crochet. Okay, so then the next one again will be front. So yarn over, go through the front, around the back of the post, back to the front, grab the yarn, pull it up, and work your double crochet. So just keep alternating along each post to the end. At the end of row 2, you will enter your last front post, and then enter a double crochet into the turning chain, and then chain 2 and turn. Now we are simply going to do a back post double crochet around that first one, a front post around the front, back post around the back, front post around the front, and you get how that goes, right? Okay, so we'll start with that back post. And then there's a front post, so you're going to do a front post around the front post. The next one back. All right, so continue that across the row. The front post over the front post, the back post over the back post. All the way to the end, then chain 2 and turn, and then repeat. So we will have a total of 4 rows. At the end of row 4, chain 3 and turn. Now we're going to start working on the body. So in the first space, enter 2 double crochets, and we are working under the 2-strand chains, the little spaces, not the big spaces between the posts. So 2 double crochets in that first one, and then a double crochet in each stitch across. Okay, then at the end of the row, in the last stitch, you will enter 3 double crochets. So that will bring you to a total of 60 double crochets. Now at the end of that row of double crochets, chain 1 and turn. And now we will work a row of single crochets, and you're entering 1 single crochet into each stitch, so that we end up with 60 single crochets. At the end of the single crochet row, chain 2 and turn. And then we will work a row of double crochets for a count of 60. And that will be the pattern for the body. A row of double crochet, row of single crochet, row of double crochet, row of single crochet, and keep working up. Now, for this pattern, what I have done is started the row count over with the body. So in other words, that first row that we did of the body, I'm going to call that row 1. So then we just did the single crochet for the body, that was row 2. So now we're going to continue alternating doubles and singles through row 32. Row 32 will be a row of single crochets, and then we will start shaping the neck. It's just a little bit of an easy shaping. So continue through row 32. Now on row 33, which is a double crochet row, we work the first 20 double crochets and then stop. And you chain 1 and turn. And then you continue in the pattern. So now you will do 20 single crochets, chain 2, turn, 20 double crochets, chain 1, turn, 20 single crochets. So you will work a total, the body, 36 rows, and row 36 is a single crochet row, and then you will tie off the yarn. So there's how that looks. Then for the opposite side, you will skip 20 stitches. Okay, so that'll be the first one you skip. 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down. Skip 20. Then in the next stitch, you attach the yarn with a chain. And then you do another chain for a chain 2. And then you double crochet across the rest of the row so that you end up with 20 to match the opposite side. Then you chain 1 and turn, do your single crochets for 20, chain 2, turn, do your double crochets, chain 1, turn, do your single crochet, and then you tie off the yarn. For the back panel, you work it exactly the same, except that you will work through row 34 with your 60 stitches, and then on row 35, you'll do your 20 double crochets, chain 1, turn, row 36, you will do your row of single crochets, and then you cut off the yarn. Okay, so the neck opening for the back is shorter. And then you do the same thing as you did for the front panel on the other side. So the front neck shaping is a little bit deeper. That's the only difference. Now we're going to work the sleeves. Isn't that pretty? So we'll start with the ribbing, and we work it the same, the front post, back post ribbing as we did for the front and back panels. The difference, of course, is in the size. Now for the sleeves, we are going to start with the rows of ribbing exactly the same as for the front and back panels. The only difference is, of course, it's shorter. So we start with a chain of 30, and then we work with 28 stitches for the ribbing. And then you will chain 2 and turn. Now, to create the sleeve, the body of the sleeve, we need to do some increasing so that the sleeve is widened. Because right now this is just big enough for the wrist, or wide enough, I should say. So we are going to work 2 double crochets into each of the first 5 stitches. Okay, so 2, 2, 2, 2. 2 into 1 stitch. One, two, three, four, one more stitch. So that's our increase for the first 5 stitches, and then you will work 1 single crochet into each of the remaining stitches until you get to the last 5. Then in the last 5 you enter 2 into each stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the turning chain. So you should end up with 38 double crochets. After that double crochet row, you would chain 1 and turn and work 1 row of single crochets with 1 single crochet in each stitch, and you end up with 39 single crochets. Then you chain 2 and turn, and now we're going to start the cables. Okay, so we're going to work a double crochet into the first 16 stitches. Okay, now we're going to start the first half of the cable. There are 2 halves that make up the cable. So in the 17th post, double crochet post, not the singles, the doubles, we're going to work around that 17th post, yarn over, from the back to the front, as if you were doing a front post double crochet. Okay, pull up your yarn nice and tall. Pull through the first 2 loops, and do that again. Pull up your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, do that again. Pull through the first 2 loops, and one more time. Yarn over, go around the post, pull through the first 2, you end up with 5 loops on the hook. Now you're going to pull the yarn through all 5. That's the first half of your cable. Now, pull this towards you. We're going to skip that stitch right behind the cable, and then in the next single crochet, this is a single crochet row, do a double crochet, and then in the next single crochet, do another double crochet. So between the 2 halves of the cable, we're going to work the other one in a second here, we enter 2 double crochets in the single crochet row. Now in the double crochet post right next to the one that we just worked, so that would be number 18, yarn over, we're going to work around that post, the double crochet, pull the yarn through, pull through 2 loops on the hook, And we do that for a total of 4 times. So that was the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 5 loops on the hook, pull through all 5. So there's your completed cable. That's what I'm calling a full complete cable. I'm going to pull this off. Okay, before we continue, because we do need to do one more of that full cable, I want to let you know that this is just like the setup row. The subsequent rows from here, much easier, even easier than this. Okay, so now in the next single crochet, do 1 double crochet. And this is because I want to have a little bit of a separation between the 2 sets of cables. Okay, so now we're going to skip the double crochet post next to the last one that you just did. So skip that one, because that's being accounted for with that double crochet here. In the next post, we're going to work our next cable. Okay, so start with 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that you've got your 5 loops on the hook, pull through all 5, there's your first half. Now this is the part that is easy to forget. Don't forget those 2 double crochets. Before you work that second half, do your 2 double crochets. Okay, and don't forget we had to skip that single crochet right before or right behind that cable. Okay, now we're going to skip the post right next to the one we just did, right next to the cable. Skip that one into the next post. We work the rest of our cable, the second half. Five loops on the hook, pull through all 5. Now we're going to double crochet in each of the remaining single crochets. Okay, you would have had 16 double crochets at the end of that cable row. Now chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do a row of single crochets. So you will enter a single crochet in each stitch. So just be careful when you're coming around the cable part that you're not missing any stitches. And when you get to the end, you should have 41 stitches altogether. At the end of the single crochet row, chain 2 and turn. And of course, you are working the cables on the right side and the singles on the wrong side. So now we're going to double crochet in the first 16 stitches, and then we'll work our cables. And now we're going to skip over to those 2 double crochets that we created between the 2 cable halves. Remember, we've got the 2 double crochets in there. Those are the posts that we will be working around. Okay, so now go to that first double crochet and work your first half of the cable. Now remember, we need to do those 2 double crochets. Now you know why. Those are the 2 double crochets posts that we are working the cables around. Okay, so skip the single crochet right behind the cable and then work a double crochet in the next single and a double crochet in the next single. Now work the other half of the cable around that second double crochet post. And there we go. Okay, now remember we've got that one post, the double crochet post in between the two sets. So enter a double crochet in the single crochet. Now work your second cable around those two posts, the two double crochet posts. Okay, so start your first one. Do your 2 double crochets. And now the other half of the cable. And there we go. And then you will enter a double crochet in each of the last of the single crochets on that row. So double crochet in each single crochet. So you would have had the 16 double crochets to match the 16 on the other side. And there we go. So those are going to be your repeat rows. This cable row and then the row of single crochets. So after this we chain 1 turn, enter a single crochet in each stitch, chain 2 turn, and work your cable row. And you would have worked for 15 rows of cables. Not 15 rows, but 15 rows of cables. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cables. You will end on a single crochet row and then tie off the yarn. Now it's time to seam the shoulders, and there's the neckline. I use a yarn needle, length of yarn, and a whip stitch. So that just means you go around and around and around till you get to the end, leave a tail to weave in. Now it's time to seam the sleeve to the body, and of course wrong sides up. Match up the center of the sleeve with the shoulder seam, which I've marked here with the yarn needle, and then just use the same whip stitch. Then you will seam the sides and under the sleeve with the same whip stitch or whatever is your preferred method. Now it is time to work the neck ribbing, and all you need to do is attach the yarn into the shoulder seam with a chain 2. Then you will work a double crochet into approximately every stitch. When you come back around to where you started, slip stitch into the beginning chain 2. Do not turn. So for all of these rows, we are not turning the work. So you're going to chain 2 and then work your front post, back post ribbing as you've been doing. When you get back to the beginning, slip stitch into the starting chain 2. Do another chain 2 and then continue the ribbing. Remember, do not turn. So now you are working the front post around the front post, the back post around the back post, and then just keep repeating that. Slip stitching when you get to the beginning, doing the chain 2, and then repeating the ribbing. So just do that to your desired depth. And then that's it. You just tie off the yarn and you are done. And here we are with the classic cable crochet sweater. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you did, I would so much appreciate you going down in the white space, clicking the thumbs up, leaving a comment. Let me know what you thought of this. If you're going to try it, maybe what colors you're going to use. And of course, if you are so inclined, go down there, find the little heart icon for the super thanks, and that allows you to leave a little tip by way of a small monetary donation. And for that, I do appreciate your help. So stay tuned for the next project. Thanks for watching.